Do you realize that you're harming yourself by doing these 5 things? I'm sure you never thought about it this way. Hi ladies, my name is Remy and I am an unburdening and identity restoration specialist based in the United Kingdom. So today ladies, I'm going to be talking to you about self-harm, and I'm going to be giving you 5 ways through which you may be unintentionally harming yourself. But first, let's start with the definition of self-harm. Self-harm, also known as self-injury, refers to the intentional infliction of physical harm on one's own body. So when we're talking about self-harm, this is something that you have intentionally done to yourself. But like I said, I want to talk about ways by which you may be unintentionally harming yourself. Let's go into it. Number 1, depriving yourself of sleep. This is a very common way of actually harming yourself, because think about it. Your body needs sleep to function, because I'm sure you've had days where you've slept, but you know you haven't had enough sleep and you've woken up and you feel so exhausted, so tired still. And I understand that you have a lot of deadlines and all of this, which is okay, but you mustn't overdo it, because you must understand that in order to function well, your body needs rest. And another thing I need to say in terms of this is, for some people, you are not actually working, but because a lot of motivational speakers and people all over the world have said to you, the most successful people, the richest people on earth, only sleep 2 hours a day. This is why you're here moping at your TV, moping at everything, because you want to wake up in the morning and say, every day I only sleep 2 hours. I need you to ask yourself an important question. Is this doing me any good? Number 2, overeating or undereating to the point of physical harm. Why are you doing this to yourself? For some of you, the problem is because you have been body shamed, or because you don't look good enough, you begin to undereat because you think you're too fat. You must begin to first and foremost put health before all of these things. If your health is being affected, please by all means look into it, and instead of undereating, go on a healthy lifestyle in terms of diet, in terms of exercise. This is what you want to do. And on the other hand, we have people who want to put on weight, or for some people, it's not even you want to put on weight, but you're going through a lot emotionally and you find yourself binge eating. And then you get to this point where you've eaten so much, your belly is out, and now you don't like your body. Think about it. You're doing yourself a disservice, either by overeating or undereating, because we know that doing too much of anything never turns out right. So if this is you, stop harming yourself. Look for a healthy alternative to take care of yourself. Number 3, guilting yourself. This is one that is so common. Let me give an example. Sometimes it could even be culture. You know that you're not doing anything wrong by saying, you know what, I'm not doing this thing because it doesn't sit right with me, probably because I'm a Christian. But because you don't want to offend, you sit down and you know you're not doing anything bad, but you keep making yourself feel bad, feel horrible. But because you're fearing judgment, you begin to say yes to everything. Or sometimes you know you can't really show up for this friend or family at this point in time, and from the bottom of your heart, it's a genuine reason, but you sit here guilting yourself, guilt tripping yourself, calling yourself a bad person because you genuinely couldn't do this thing. This is not healthy, because over time, you constantly, repeatedly saying to yourself, I'm not a good person, I'm not worthy, I'm not kind enough, you will begin to believe it. And this is not good for you, because before you know it, low self-esteem, self-sabotage, I can go on, begins to become the order of the day in your life. And this is why I'm talking about this today. If this is you, you find yourself constantly putting yourself out there, making yourself feel like you're the worst person on earth, when you genuinely know that this is not the truth, please stop it. because it's not doing you or even the world any good. Number 4, people pleasing. So it's possible that you just feel the need to make everyone happy and then you always constantly forget yourself. For some women, they're in abusive relationships. And because they don't want the world to see them as a failure, they remain in that marriage. They refuse to speak up and get help. They sit there constantly posting beautiful pictures in social media because they want us to believe that they are okay. People pleasing can come in different shapes and forms. For some of you, you begin to make commitments because you want to be seen as a nice person to things that you know that you don't have the ability or the capability to actually sustain. In the long run, you're hurting yourself and making every other person happy. One thing I always say to my clients is God does not want you to constantly displease yourself just to please people. Because anything that you need to do it well and you need to do it right. And this also involves saying yes to things. Because if you're constantly saying yes to everything, what you'll find is you will eventually keep giving 10% to everything. But if you learn the habit of saying yes to only things that you're genuinely able to give your best to, everybody wins because even the people that are receiving a yes from you are getting the best of you. Learn to stop people pleasing because you're harming yourself. And eventually you stay home behind closed doors being bitter and angry because you try to make everyone happy, forgetting and neglecting yourself. Number 5, which is my final point today, is overworking yourself and not taking breaks. You're not a robot. You're not Voltron. I know we've been watching a lot of this sci-fi animes and all of that, and it looks like these things are possible. Breaking news, you're human, you've got flesh and blood, and you will get tired. A lot of times you find yourself breaking down because your body has been sending you signals and you've been constantly ignoring those signals. So your body has decided to take laws into its own hands. And that's why a lot of times you break down and you can't do anything. Taking breaks is healthy. Okay, I know sometimes you're aiming for this promotion. You're saying, I need to work. I need to show up. I don't want another person to take my place. Listen, God forbid you die this minute, another person will take your place. So what exactly are you doing to yourself? Take your annual leaves. Take your holiday breaks. Take those breaks. When it's time to go home, spend time with your family, your friends, your loved ones. Incorporate fun into your life. Like, can I just say this? Incorporate fun. Incorporate soft life into your schedules. Not every time work meetings. Some of you, when you're sleeping and we call you, you feel guilty saying I was sleeping. You want to say I was busy. I was in a meeting. You don't even respond to text messages because you think, oh, if I pick up, she'll think I'm jobless. What are you doing to yourself? You're harming yourself by just overworking yourself and refusing to take breaks. Ladies, the whole essence of this video is to bring to our attention ways through which we may have been unintentionally harming ourselves, and to bring this to your awareness and to help you make sure that you begin to stop harming yourself. You begin to take adequate and intentional care of yourself. Because guess what? There's only one of you. And I know you love to say you only live once. Exactly. So live it well. Live it well. Serve God, serve humanity, and take care of yourself. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and I'll see you at my next one. Bye-bye.